Alright, I got a question. What is with these religious rhythmic poems?
In the end, there are two gates, one that is golden and one that separates.
That's still not cool. That will never be cool. Ever.
Do I have to talk about this one?
Yes.
Fine, let's get started. Alright, interesting way to start it off. You've got this face that's just kind of like...
We are not amused!
Don't propagate your hate.
Propagate.
Don't propagate your hate, because I have a higher standard on who you date.
Higher standard, huh? Well, that's interesting, but kudos for having such high confidence that you don't even feel like you need to back up your claim. I mean, I wish I had that confidence.
I'm not here to rally against what the government legislates. I simply don't support a mind that is reprobate.
Is this whole poem going to rhyme with 8? You couldn't think of anything else.
Homosexuality is not innate. It is not a genetic trait.
Oh, we got trouble. Oh, we got trouble. Right here on the earth. Right here on the earth. With a capital T and that rhymes with G and that stands for gay. Gay! Homosexuality is innate. It's not fully genetic. It has contributing factors that arise in the womb. But once you're born, that's mostly it.
You cannot replicate the love between a man and a woman in which God did indeed create.
So you're saying that gay people can't love each other as much as men and women can?
Is your head up your ass for the warmth?
Now I can't dictate one's life and who they call soulmate.
But my God can.
I simply don't want them to bake in a lake of fire for the name of love's sake.
Alright, and that's a fair point. If you genuinely believe that hell is a real place, then you should be trying to keep people from going there. But you don't need to make stuff up about homosexuality like they can't love as much. This would be a good time to point out that the Bible doesn't necessarily condemn homosexuality for Christians. There's a link in the description to a video and transcript, I suggest you read the transcript, of a guy going through the often cited passages and parts of the Bible that supposedly condemn homosexuality for Christians, and he goes through and demonstrates that, hey, this isn't really so clear-cut. In fact, there's very little to suggest that the Bible is against homosexuality, so I encourage you to go read that.
The media tries to educate that this behavior is something we must tolerate, using propaganda,
More like impropaganda.
like movies and TV shows, to indoctrinate that this lifestyle should be considered normal. Yet they fail to communicate the detrimental consequences to those that participate.
Oh, definitely. I mean, if you believe in hell, like I said, yeah, that is a very detrimental consequence, if not the most detrimental consequence. I'm glad you haven't abandoned the topic.
In male-to-male contact, calculate for the highest rate of new HIV and AIDS cases documented to date.
Wait, we're talking about AIDS now? What about hell? Isn't hell infinitely more important than AIDS? You know, infinite suffering? I mean, I guess if you think AIDS is so much more important than hell, we can talk about AIDS, I guess. Now, it's true that gay men have the highest rate of HIV transmission, but on the flip side, there are no documented cases in the United States of female-to-female HIV transmission. So congratulations, you're off the hook. Now, was that an insult? I don't think so. The Bible doesn't say so. You've said nothing about lesbians being immoral. But I'm willing to bet that you're not very happy with gay women either. So I called you a lesbian.
The FDA won't hesitate to deny gay men who fornicate the privilege to donate to the blood bank because it violates the qualifications of a safe candidate.
Okay, now it just sounds like you're picking on them, saying, you can't donate blood. And this is not a ban on sexually active gay men, it's a ban on all gay men. This does not help you make your case for being abstinent. It does help you make a case for don't exist as a gay man, though.
This is not to discriminate, but to demonstrate that same-sex relations devastate the health of many.
Nope, not buying it. Not buying it. If you're really concerned about people's health, why are you talking about AIDS? Why aren't you talking about smoking or preventable medical errors? After all, preventable medical errors are a top 10 killer in the United States, with the annual deaths ranging from 44,000 to 98,000, depending on where you look. AIDS deaths only account for about 20,000 a year, not even half of the minimum of preventable medical error deaths. Why are you talking about AIDS? Like I said, I'm not buying it. You're not concerned. You know that people aren't going to buy the God argument, so you're just digging up all the shit to throw that you possibly can. Why are you spending so much time talking about AIDS? Why aren't you spending more time talking about hell? which is a lot more important of a consequence. Like, let's take a look at how much time in this video you've dedicated to hell, the worst possible consequence of anything ever, versus the amount of time you spent talking about AIDS, which is nothing compared to hell.
I simply don't want them to bake in a lake of fire for the name of love's sake. So what's it gonna be? Your mate or your fate? A male-to-male contact calculate for the highest rate of new HIV and AIDS cases documented to date. The FDA won't hesitate to deny gay men who fornicate the privilege to donate to the blood bank because it violates the qualifications of a safe candidate. This is not to discriminate, but to demonstrate that same-sex relations devastate the health of many.
So in this whole video, you've spent a total of 8 seconds talking about hell, and 3 times as long, 24 seconds, talking about AIDS. As if hell isn't that important, or if it's not as pressing of a concern. You know, infinite suffering, not really a concern? What the heck? This is like that sign that says, "Caution, this sign has sharp edges. Do not touch the edges of this sign." Also, the bridge is out ahead. I can summarize your entire video. Gays have AIDS. Gays can't love. Gayness is not innate. Also, they're going to hell. This video really does show how little you care.